Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike Panna. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about Persian rugs and carpets from around the world. And in this quick video, I want to introduce you to a rare type of antique rug. And these are the Indian Agra carpets. And basically, what you're looking at right here is an antique handmade Persian rug. This is a type of rug that is so influenced by Persian weavers that were actually brought into the Indian area of Mughal, which is best known as the place where you will find the Taj Mahal. So the people who live in the Taj Mahal area, in the Agra area, which is about 150 miles southeast of New Delhi, of the capital. I had to look it up just to make sure. This is the place where the Agra carpets used to be made. This is an old antique piece right here. It's a great example of what the antique, the older Indian carpets were all about. There is a lot of influence. I'm going to talk about it in detail, give you a little bit of a background, and also point out some of the ways that you can tell the difference between a Persian Sarok rug and the antique rugs. I have featured some of the videos in my YouTube channel as well. And here, in this case, you have an antique Indian Agra carpet. They look very similar, but there are subtle differences. But I thought I'd show it to you. Generally speaking, Indian carpets are not considered to be genuine Persian, and I know as soon as when I talk about the Turkish rugs, I refer to them, the harike pieces, for example, as Persian, the same thing. When I talk about various types of rugs, people leave all kinds of hideous comments and everything. In this case, this is an Indian rug. I call it Persian because of the weaving technique, because of how it's made, and because of its influence. Centuries ago, Persian weavers were actually brought into India to make these types of rugs. So I have absolutely no problems stating that this is, for all practical purposes, in my opinion, a Persian Indian rug. It's a handmade piece using Persian knots, and the weavers who for centuries have been mastering this piece right here. I mean, this is just a beautiful example of what an antique Indian rug is. But because generally speaking, Indian rugs have, you know, when you tell people you have an Indian carpet, it's not considered, right? Some people, they don't call them real genuine Persian rug. Well, here you have a carpet. Yes, it is made by Indian weavers, but as far as I'm concerned, it is to be respected and valued just like a genuine antique Persian rug. The Agra carpets, the antique ones, the older pieces, like this piece right here, deserve the same admiration and respect as the antique Sarok rugs, the old Keshan rugs that are made in Iran. So in this video, it's not about bad-mouthing people. It's all about showcasing a rug and showing you that you can have beautiful handmade carpets made all over the world, and sometimes it's not so much about competing against other places, they complement other places. Here you have an antique Agra carpet. It has British influence, Indian workmanship, Persian influence. And when I get behind the camera, I'm going to explain it to you. And so, this is a very rare find. And so this is one of those types of carpets that we don't come across very often, even for us who are in the wholesale business. But so when I do find them, I think it's something you may enjoy seeing a video of. And so I'm now going to do what I always do. I'm going to cut this off, get behind the camera, show you some of the close-ups, and explain to you a little bit in detail about what this is all about. So I'm going to see you again here in just a second. So here I'm back again, as always, behind the camera, and just to get things started, I'm just going to walk around a little bit, let the rug speak for itself. These are beautiful, beautiful old antique rugs. Unfortunately, because of the type of workmanship and the weave, generally speaking, they don't actually last that long. It's really rare to find antique Agra carpets that are as old as this piece. And this piece right here, we're estimating, based on the colors, design, and just the overall condition and everything, we are saying about 100 to 140 years old. That is the best we have come up with. And when I say we, like I said, we're in the Persian rug, we're in the wholesale business. But on these types of rugs, what is beautiful about the wholesale district is that we have wholesalers from all over the world. We have Indian wholesalers, Afghan, Tibetan, Persian, Turkish. And so this is a type of rug. This piece right here has been looked at by several different people who are extremely knowledgeable, but are also from different backgrounds. So when you have 3 or 4 different nationalities all agreeing on something, then you, generally speaking, have a pretty good consensus on what it is you have. Now, one of the features in the antique Saruk rugs, when you talk about old Persian rugs, you oftentimes refer to the Saruk, the old Keshans. Well, the Agra falls in the same category. But, for example, one of the telltale signs for us that this is Indian made, I'm just going to point out some of the features. Do you notice this curvature? This design right here, this is classic Indian. This is something you generally do not find in the Saruk rugs, and as well as in the old Keshan rugs. So this curvature, sometimes you will find something like this in Isfahan rugs, but even then, you, generally speaking, do have different types of curvature, different types of flowers. Another telltale sign for us that immediately jumped out is this perfectly round circular floral pattern. This right here is a telltale sign that tells us that it's Indian. Persian rugs don't have, generally speaking, this round design right here that you see right here. Now, there are, of course, exceptions to the rule, but when you combine this with this right here, and as well as the overall condition and the material used, this is very light wool. This tells us that this is most likely, this is a classic Indian Agra carpet. Now, just to basically give you an overview, and I mentioned earlier how there's a lot of influence from many different parts. The Agra region, which I'm probably going to be screwing up the pronunciation on this one. The Mughal people. This is the region that is southeast of New Delhi. This is where the home of the Taj Mahal. There's a rich carpet weaving tradition that goes back centuries. But the Agra really came to light when the British ruled India. They imported, well, basically, well, we say importing, they brought in Persian weavers to train the Indian weavers on how to make the carpets, and a lot of these were then shipped to the European markets. This is why, for example, you hear about the old saruk rugs, and they're oftentimes referred to as American saruk. The same type of history here. You had the East India Company basically bringing in weavers who trained and then made rugs in India, but these were basically made with the European market in mind. And these carpets were then exported to Europe. This is why, when I mentioned earlier, yes, this is an Indian carpet, but as far as I'm concerned, there is absolutely nothing wrong with stating that it is, in my opinion, a Persian rug. It is, yes, it's made by the Indian people, and I love them. I have nothing but respect for them. But when I say Persian, I am referring to a carpet that is so heavily influenced by Persian weavers, by the technique. For example, in these Agra carpets, the knots oftentimes I made using Persian knots. The wool is very soft, cotton foundation, very well made pieces, and to me it's out of respect. I know a lot of people, they always in the comments section, I don't know what the big deal is, they always make it a big deal about, it's like sometimes I'll refer to the Turkish rugs as being Persian, and they say, well, it's not Persian, it's this and that. And I'm just like, you know what, to me, it's just a sign of respect. But here you have a beautiful piece. Unfortunately, sometimes these are sold as American saruk rugs. The American saruk rugs tend to be much, much more expensive. So when you look at antique rugs, here is just a perfect example of something that you don't find very often. So the earth colors, the dyes, of course, vegetable dyes, that's pretty much all they had available back then. Like I said, this rug dates to about 1880, 1900. Gorgeous quality and everything. But like many of the antique rugs that I show you, this is probably not going to be, this is not something that you're going to find on my website. So I'm not selling it. I'm not offering it. This is something that we stumbled across in one of my neighbor's wholesale businesses, and so I brought the carpet over so I can take a video of it and show it to you, because chances are, if you are as passionate about Persian rugs, you have never seen a genuine, handmade, antique Agra carpet, and so here it is. Hope the video sheds a little bit of light. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to leave me any questions in the comments section. Subscribe or visit us at mprugs.com. And, I wish you all the very, very best. And we'll be coming back here with many more videos. Take care. Bye-bye.